Hello everyone, welcome back. As you can see from the beginning of this video, we are going to maybe ruffle some feathers, maybe have some conversations in the comments section. Not totally sure what will come out of this from those of you who watch it. And by the way, those of you that have subscribed, commented, encouraged me, thank you. I really appreciate it and it means a lot to me. And I hope that today's video can bring about an interesting discussion. That's the whole reason I wanted to start a channel, was to talk about stuff that not only kind of like bugs me a little bit, to say the least, but to give other people encouragement to look for the bigger picture, to do some research on your own, and for us to just, the collective us, for us to not fall for all of the stuff that you can fall for in today's modern world with the never ending, it seems, of marketing and what's constantly pushed at us, okay? And so I have some thoughts about the social experiments of 2025, if you will. And I know that I have the Stanley Cup previewed. That's not necessarily exclusive to 2025. That started a couple of years ago, but it definitely, continued into 2025. And then you have things like these luxury grocery stores that, let's be real, aren't funny and aren't something to necessarily joke about. And I get it, like, at least for me, I am not the target group of people that they are marketing for. And I do think that there might be a market for luxury grocery stores. I think it's strange that we call food a luxury, but I digress. That's a topic for a different video, if you will. But like this luxury grocery store that's going viral that everybody's flocking to, whether they claim it's for the experience or maybe it's because of something else. It's interesting because a luxury grocery store is selling a brand that you can find at Walmart. Okay, like a berry produce brand, if you will, that's found at Walmart and Target and like these normal grocery stores. Like, I think even Aldi, like we shop at Aldi, I'm not totally sure the berry brand that's carried there. We buy frozen berries, not necessarily fresh berries all the time. But yeah, it's like, what are we doing? Why are we paying extremely overpriced? Why are we buying extremely overpriced goods for, the sake of, to say just because? And I know we could easily shrug it off and be like, who cares? Let people do what they do, let people buy what they buy. And that's totally fine. My goal here is to not shame anyone for purchasing stuff, because as you can see, the Stanley Cup was in the clip and it's also my thumbnail because I have one. My husband and I bought me this one. My friend bought me one other one, and that's all that I have. My friend also bought my husband one as gifts, and we use them, we like them. It's okay to like something that's a little trendy. It's also okay to not like something that's trendy. It's okay to choose to not participate in something because it seems so ridiculous. And for me, that's stuff like the iPhone sock. This is crazy, and I just would not purchase that. But if you like it, good for you. If you like the Stanley Cup, great. If you would go to a grocery store like Meadow Lane, amazing. I don't know, maybe you want to go for the experience. Maybe you're one of those and like your true intentions are, hey, I just want to experience it, and I'm not here to shame you for that. But I want to talk about the bigger picture here, okay? There's been a lot of talk this year about, this has got to be another social experiment. People questioning, like, in comments, is this a social experiment? And I want to propose a different idea, a different perspective that aligns with it, but to give it a different name, if you will. Yes, this is probably a type of social experiment. And what they're looking for is social conformity, okay? I have some notes, but if you don't know what social conformity is, it's the process of aligning one's behavior, beliefs, and attitudes with those of a group to fit in or be accepted. Okay, so trends, people conform to society naturally, right? We have, if you know what the hierarchy of needs are, we have a natural biological urge to fit in, at least psychologically anyway. We want to fit in, and there's nothing wrong with that, it can be really difficult to be left out. It can be really difficult to feel like you're not really fitting in. You get what I'm saying? And it makes sense that your body's natural response is, hey, I will alter myself in whichever way possible so that I can fit in. Okay? And that has a name, social conformity. And if you will, more specifically, focusing on normative conformity, which is a type of social influence that can be driven by the desire to be liked. Okay, so social media is literally influencing you, right? And you are responding to that with normative conformity. At least to me, that's what we're doing. And again, the you, me, we is collective. Maybe you don't do this. Maybe you don't fall for a lot of trends and you're just not really into that. I know that I'm usually really late to trends, so I can't say that I don't not like certain trends. Obviously, that's not true. I would be a hypocrite. Hello. But I don't fall for all of them, and I'm not usually on time to most of them. And again, let me address the fall for is kind of a degrading phrase, so let's not use that. But what I mean is we maybe like just have that little urge. Like you see it enough and you're like, okay, maybe I do like it, even if you kind of might not. Or you know, everyone around you is doing it and you're like, okay, like I'll do it just so like my closest friends don't disown me, because sadly sometimes people are put in these types of situations, and I'm totally all about like, if your friends and loved ones are disowning you because of something that you like or don't like, as long as it's not hurting anyone, that's a different issue. Like we need to be doing some work on, you know, our personal life and all of that stuff, but I digress. So when it comes to conformity specifically, conformity is copying the actions of others, looking to the group when deciding how to think or behave, and doing what is expected based on widely accepted social norms. Okay, so one of the main reasons I was struggling to start a channel was I was afraid of living up to the expectations of society, here specifically on YouTube. I'm not on any other platforms. I don't really plan on doing that, at least anytime soon in the foreseeable future. But I love YouTube, and I was afraid to look the part, to be able to play the part, to have all of the software and all of the tools to act the part. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And eventually I said, no, like I do not have to conform to the social expectations of YouTube. And that almost sounds crazy coming out of my mouth, but that's what that was, right? Like I am not, in no way am I speaking on this today as someone who is above social conformity. That would make me a hypocrite, a liar, and just outright silly, I feel like, right? And so when I was thinking about this video, it's so crazy to me how the wheels are turning. Like people are like, is this a social experiment? You know, like what are they doing to us? Like what are they looking for? And to me, you know, I'm not claiming that it definitely is, but if it was, let's say if it was, they're looking for conformity, right? Like we are conforming to large corporations a lot of times, and influencers, and what's trendy on social media, and what people want to see, right? Like, and let's be real here. Like, let's be super transparent. Even those who do commentary and, you know, research-based videos, sort of like this one, which some people go really extensive, and that's amazing. Mine's a little bit more casual and laid back because I'm working with what I got, right? But let's be real, even that has a form of conformity. Like there are certain videos like this that do great, and if your intentions are, I want my video to do super well, which there's nothing wrong with that, or you want your video to go, you know, to get more views, like that's what I really should say, to have more, you know, interaction, then you're gonna probably try to conform in some way to what people want to see and, you know, what they expect to see. And it's so crazy to me how we've kind of, you know, lost sight of that bigger picture of like, yeah, like it kind of is like a social experiment. We're just practicing social conformity all the time. And I think we've kind of forgot that this is something that humans do, right? And so, yeah, I just wanted to come on here and give you a little bit of information. Maybe you didn't even know what social conformity was. I don't know. And that's okay. But it's really interesting to me how as a society we can like spend however much money on a generic brand of berries just because it came from a luxury grocery store, okay? It's very interesting. Like when you sit back and ask yourself like why would I do that? And for some people, sure, maybe it's the experience, but I really encourage you to be truly honest with yourself about your intentions. Like I'm going to be honest with you. Some of my intentions behind purchases, which I won't tell you how to spend your money. In no way am I trying to shame you or make you feel bad or, you know, any of those things about spending money. I feel like there's enough people who do that on here. But I do want to encourage you to be intentional with everything. But again, I need to reiterate that if these are your thing, if you're okay with spending the money on them, if it's, you know, I encourage you to make it an intentional purchase and decision. And if it's intentional, that's okay. Because again, we're all different. We like different stuff. But it's, I don't know, it can get really, really tricky out there. And it's so wild to me how it took so long for me to realize that I'm like, we're just falling for social conformity, okay? Like this is a tale as old as time. Like we're humans. It is in our innate nature to socially conform to those around us, to the environment that we're in. And if anything, I kind of want this to like take the blame that like we like to put the blame on the consumer a lot. Like how dare the sheep flock to Meadow Lane, okay? And I get it in a way. Is it true? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna say it is or it isn't, but it's like I don't want to always put the blame on the consumer, on us. Like we have enough to worry about. And so I just wanted to encourage you guys today, and maybe I taught you guys a little something. I don't know. Maybe you know what social conformity is and you see it too. But either way, I hope I've encouraged you to think a little more critically, see the bigger picture, and put a little bit more good out there into the world. Bye, guys.